So this movie takes place immediately after the events of Rise of Red. It follows Red and Chloe witnessing the consequences that unfolded after their time travel adventures. And this time around, it's instead of the Queen of Hearts being a villain since she is now nice, the new villain is Maddox, Red's former tutor and best friend, and he ends up kidnapping the Queen of Hearts and taking over Wonderland. So Red and Chloe and the rest of their new friends have to travel to Wonderland to their help save the Queen of Hearts, and also try to redeem Maddox once again. And so yeah, overall, I thought this movie was pretty good. I think that it definitely was an improvement over Rise of Red when it comes to the production design, the costumes, and definitely the songs. And I, of course, I like how it is a finished movie. We actually get an ending here. However, where I feel this movie kind of fumbles the bag is with its pacing and its storytelling. Now, the story is pretty good itself, but I just feel like a lot of character development was kind of lost. And the thing is with this movie is it tried to do a big ensemble. Like there's literally 10 characters in total when it comes to the main group. And literally this movie kind of has a running gag where it pokes fun at itself, and it literally uses any moment to take out some of its characters, since I feel like even the writers knew that they put in too much. But yeah, and I'm actually gonna open one of these right now because so here are the stack figures. Sorry, I'm going off topic, but here they are. Here's all the different ones you can collect. There's Red, Pink, Louise, Chloe, Hazel, and then Max with Chessie. And honestly, I would like to have either one of them. But here's like a little pamphlet of different ones you can collect. And so yeah, back on top with the movie, I really just, oh sorry, as you guys can see, my setup is a bit of a mess, but I'm making it work. And yeah, I just feel like the movie itself was kind of trying to do much, just like Rise of Red did, but it also kind of didn't do enough. But anyway, here's the one I got. Oh, and I got Chloe. So I guess, yeah, let's talk about Chloe. Here's the card I got. We got her good side and her evil side. And I like how it does represent Bridget's cards. So yeah, Chloe. I will say from the last movie, I didn't really like her as a character. I mean, I thought she was fine, but really, they just didn't give her that much development in that last movie, and she kind of just felt like an Evie ripoff. And also, I think I'll say that she probably had like the weakest wardrobe out of everybody else in that movie. And here I did like her this time around. Also, I've always liked Malia Baker as an actress. Her as a person I know is kind of controversial nowadays, but that's a story for another time. Man, these are hard to open. And, oh, speaking of Malia, there she is. Oh, and Kylie. Cute. And so yeah, I feel like Chloe in this movie is kind of all over the place. And also I like how you don't have to throw away this box, like it could be a setup, so there's like the chess game. And so yeah, as I mentioned before, Chloe, so here's the Chloe figurine, and I do love her wardrobe this time around much better, and they finally figured out her hair in this movie, because I kid you not, her wigs in the last movie had more personality than everybody else in this movie. But I am glad that they made them better this time around. But yeah, for Chloe in this movie, I did like her and what we got of her. Um, but I just feel like her arc in this movie just wasn't that well developed. Like, I understand why she went down the road she did of her being evil, because she was kind of sidelined by Red. But also, it's like, I don't know, I feel like she was a bit over dramatic, in my opinion. Like, okay, I completely understand the scene where Red almost sacrificed her to a crazy power hungry flower, which out of context sounds crazy, I know. But I just feel like she was kind of, I don't know, a lot of people were on Chloe's side this movie and didn't blame her for turning evil, but it's also like, I don't know. I just feel like her struggles could have been highlighted a bit better, because I could also see where Red was coming from, where I feel like Chloe kind of expected her to immediately become an HK right away. And like, yeah, it didn't, maybe it would have been helpful if they listened to her and tried to hack the dodo that Maddox was using to spy on them. But I feel like also it was a pretty risky move, and it's like the VKs are literally there trying to help them, and she's just not giving them any grace. Yeah, I'm sorry with how this format is, but anyway, I'm opening the next one now. And so yeah, I did like Chloe in this movie. I liked her wardrobe, and it was nice to see evil Chloe for a bit, even though I'll say it right now, evil Chloe, guys, only lasts like 15 minutes of the movie. And and I did love her look, though. Evil Chloe's look was the best look of the entire movie. Anyway, here's the second one I opened, and hey, we got Luis. I'll talk more about him soon. But there he is. I'm just gonna leave him like that right now. And so here are the two I got, Luis and Chloe. And so yeah, Chloe, I don't know. I felt like she was valid for being upset with Red. But it's also like, I don't know, it was a risky plan in general to try to rewire the dodo, because they don't know exactly how it works. Look at Fralakai. Anyway. And I feel like, again, she was kind of putting a lot of pressure on Red to immediately adapt to the HK lifestyle when, this is all new for Red. Like, in the context of this film, it's only been, like, what, a day or so ever since they got back from their time travel adventures. And, like, I just feel like she kind of went a bit out of proportion and also that scene where they're in the White Rabbit's house and Red tries to talk to her. It's like she immediately says, like, if you can't understand the problem, I don't know what else to say. And it's like, clearly she didn't want to talk, although people have pointed out it wasn't cool of Red to just immediately go and have a moment with Louise when she sees and knows her best friend are upset. But yeah, overall I thought Chloe was definitely a more enjoyable character than she was in this movie. And I guess I also want you guys to comment down below what you thought of the whole Red and Chloe conflict in this movie. Because personally, I think I was able to see both sides of it. But regardless, I am glad that we got the best song of this movie, which was Heartless. And so yeah. And I should have formatted this better, but it's too late. Anyway, Chloe was neat, but she could have been her evil arc could have been fleshed out so much better. And also, I don't know, me personally, I feel like she could have tried to communicate better with Red, since she was kind of acting like her and Red have been like childhood friends. Whereas, again, they only knew each other for a few days. But anyway, speaking of Red, I also liked her a lot more in this movie than I did the last one. I also loved all her looks in this movie. My favorite one of hers would probably be her Go Live It look. Like, I'm just obsessed with her red and black ombre outfit and the straight hair with the hearts. Like, 10 out of 10. And also, I love that she got to wear a nose ring. Like, you don't see many characters in a quote-unquote kids film wearing nose rings or like that. And yeah, I liked Red's arc in this movie of her trying to manage her new life and her trying to be like this leader and what she defines herself as a princess. I do think her and Chloe had a better dynamic in the last movie than they do this one, since again, the pacing really makes their dynamic all over the place, and it does suck that with a group ensemble they didn't really have that much of a main focus. And then in terms of her other dynamics outside from Chloe, I did like her bond with Max Hatter. And I have recently saw someone made a comment online about how they think Red and Max should have been the couple of this movie rather than Red and Louise, which honestly I wouldn't mind too about. Now I guess like onto Red and Louise. I feel like they're mixed. Some people like them, others not so much. And I feel like Louise as a character is mixed as well, because he is a character of a newer Disney movie. He is Luisa Madrigal's son from Encanto. And I mean, I guess Encanto isn't that recent nowadays because it's only like 5 years old. Oh my god, look at Luis. I do hope we get a doll of him, but anyway. And I was pretty against it too, because Descendants is mostly known for adapting its classic movies and Disney characters, but I guess it was a welcome addition as well, and it makes me wonder if we maybe will get to see like Anna and Elsa's kids in a Descendants project. And so for Luis, I liked him as a character. I think Alexandra Bird gives nice charisma to him. Although, does anyone else feel like his voice kind of was more in a softer cadence than it was in like interviews you see of him? And I will agree, it is a big plot hole of the original Disney movie Encanto, where like each of the Madrigal family members are supposed to get different superpowers and not inherit from their parents. And so it was kind of ridiculous that he did get his mom's super strength. But there are some theories that like maybe Maui is his dad, which that would be crazy. Like, how did Luis Madrigal and Maui come across? And I love zombies anyway. And I feel like it would have made a lot more sense if maybe he was Hercules' son instead. But regardless, I did like him as a character, and I thought, and for him and Red's dynamic, I thought it was pretty cute, but unfortunately, similar, as I've been saying before, the pacing just kind of made them feel a bit forced and under development. It just kind of feels like they exist because, you know, gotta have a love story, and they couldn't make Glassheart canon, so gotta put him with Red. And also, I just feel like because of that, we never really got an explanation as to why they like each other. I mean, the only thing we really get is that they're both able to connect over living up to family legacies and, you know, feeling like society kind of defined them. Society like to put them in these particular caricatures, and they're just able to connect and just see each other. And so, personally, I just wish like their love story could have been more developed. But from what we got of them, I thought that they were cute, and I did like how we still were able to see them as independent beings and not be defined by this relationship. And I really did like their song "For Once in My Life." It definitely gave me a lot of free vibes from K-pop Demon Hunters, and of course Dream Come True from Zombies 4. Um, and so yeah, I liked Luis, but I just hope like him as a character gets more development if there is another installment, and also like him and Red's story could be fleshed out, because I do think I could really get on board with them if we just gotten more of them. And then as for Red herself, I feel like she probably has the most fleshed out storyline, which, I mean, I guess makes sense since she is more of the main character. But I still feel like it wasn't cool of her to kind of dismiss Chloe. Like, she could have been nicer about it. Like, that whole scene with "If the Shoe Fits" during their argument kind of reminded me of the "Says the Girl Who Wore a Wig Her Whole Life" from Zombies. But regardless, I think Red's storyline was cool in this movie, and I do like how she took accountability by the end. Although I will say, she was kind of a bit selfish with not letting Max change his life, which I guess I'll talk about Max Hatter now. Honestly, for me, I feel like he was the MVP of this movie. I really loved him as a character in this. And also Brendan Tremblay, the vocalist that you are, like his vocals during Heartless, 10 out of 10. And honestly, just him as a character I enjoyed. Like I mean, his plotline is pretty similar to Red's from the last movie, where he just kind of you know, feels like people don't really understand him, and that he wants to be more than what people see him as, and how he wants to like stop his father. And yeah, I just loved Max as a character. I think like he got the good development, and honestly he was the most valid for having his evil arc, because if I found out that I had this whole good life with my dad, and then this girl that I thought was my friend turns out to be the reason that my life went into shambles, like, I would be pretty mad too. I would 100% try to go back in time and fix it. And yes, I understand that Red does apologize for this and says that she's still willing to help him and his father, but like, I don't know. I would still feel a certain way about it. Like, I feel like Max kind of was redeemed a bit too easily. But, again, I understand it is a Disney Channel movie and they always love to redeem the bad guys in the end. But, I don't know. Again, I just feel like Max and Chloe should have been evil for a bit longer, but I think everyone agrees with that. But yeah, regardless, I loved Max as a character. I feel like he probably actually has the most completed character arc in this entire movie. And yeah, I'm excited to see more of him because I liked him. And as for his dad, I think he did make for a good villain, but he was similar with Audrey in the sense that he was just kind of like standing there and just casting the play cards all around and not actually getting into the action. But he still made for a good villain. I think Leonardo Nam gives probably the second best performance of this movie. Like, he really commits to like the zaniness of his character, And I feel like his redemption was done decently well. And although I will say though, as for his song Mad, I feel like the woman's version is definitely like the girl version we got earlier before the movie was released was better than the one that we actually got in the movie. But regardless, I still love his commitment to the song and how like zany he is. And yeah, I felt like I liked him, and it would have been nice to explore more of his and his son's dynamic. And although my only question is he really going to be trapped in that chandelier for a while? Because I know like he never really did anything wrong. Well, he still like caused chaos and tried to take over Wonderland, but yeah, I do wish we could have gotten more of Max. And yeah, as for Hazel and Pink, I did love them as characters, but again, I feel like with so many characters, they weren't utilized that well. But for Hazel, she might actually be my favorite character of this movie. I love Chiara Romero's performance, and I just loved how sassy she was. Although, my only thing is, why during the climax of the movie she was just chilling at White Rabbit's house with the other Smee instead of trying to help. But regardless, I feel like Hazel definitely has the most funny and iconic moments of the movie. I loved her outfit, and I definitely want her doll the most. Like, if I had to say top 3 dolls I want from this movie, it'd be Evil Chloe, then Hazel, then a Pink doll. And also, I would still like a Louise doll, please. But yeah, I loved Hazel. I thought she was a fun time. I do kind of wish she wasn't Captain Hook's daughter, because I just feel like this franchise is just reusing characters that we already seen their children of, and so it's like I wish Harry could have gotten mentioned once. But regardless, I do think it was pretty funny how they recreated Captain Hook and Smee's dynamic in their kids. Speaking of the Smees, I felt like they were definitely like the comedic relief of this movie, but similar in Descendants 3, they also didn't really do much. They were just kind of there. Like, literally, one of them goes missing during the chess game, and they're just not brought up again until the ending. And I like how Hazel was pretty much like their mother. That was funny. And so yeah, I loved Hazel, and and also I loved her and Luis's song, Did You Hear About Them? I wasn't crazy about it at first, but I love the Colombian Latin influence in the music, and also it grew on me more as the more I listened to it. And yeah, I'm excited to see more of Hazel. And speaking of Hazel, I 100% ship her and Chloe. Like, that's the actual best love story of this movie. Like, Chloe and Hazel just had so much tension and chemistry. And I love the little moment near the end where she's like, oh, so you have a bad side. Guess I underestimated you. But yeah, Hazel delivered, was such a baddie, and I'm excited to see more of her. As for Pink, I did like her as a character. I thought her wardrobe was pretty cute, and I do love Liamani so much as an actress, and I'm excited to see her in Camp Rock 3 next month. But I felt like Pink was so underutilized. Like, the only conflict she had came at a random moment of, like, her feeling like, oh, everybody calls me sweet, everybody underestimates me because I'm the younger sister. And again, it was just not that well developed, and it came out of nowhere. But regardless, I still like what we got of Pink, and I have seen a lot of people theorizing because of the cliffhanger at the end of this movie where she finds like her box of treasures and something glowing. They all think that means Pink would be like a main character of this movie. Of the next movie, I mean, sorry. And I would definitely be on board for that, because I wanted more of Pink and more of Liamani singing. Like, the fact that the only song that she gets is the end credits song, which is just a cover of the Mulan credits song, is pretty disappointing. But I'm sure we're gonna hear more of Liamani's vocals in Descendants. I mean, in Camp Rock 3. But yeah, Pink was still a fun time, and main thing is I just wanted more of her. Um, and yeah, as for the other characters, I like the concept of Felix and Robbie. The only thing with Robbie, though, is that he's supposed to be Robin Hood's son, and in the Disney canon, he's a fox, so it makes me wonder how that works, or if in this franchise he's a human. But yeah, they are the least developed characters. Like, literally, there's so there's two moments where they keep disappearing. There's the first moment where when they're in the house and they all get separated, him and Felix just end up in a teacup in the middle of the ocean, and then they just somehow find their way back to the gang. But then after the chess game, they just remain tiny and stuck on a flower until the end of the movie. And so yeah, I would have liked to see more of them, especially Felix, because I love Dr. Facilier. And also, I'm curious if Felix is supposed to be younger than Celia, from who is, was introduced in Descendants 3, or if he's somehow older but just got left behind. But yeah, I liked Felix and Robbie as characters, but we really didn't need them in this movie. Like, we could have just had Red, Pink, Chloe, Louise, Hazel, and Max, and that would have been fine. And I don't know, maybe we could have kept the Smee twins too, if they actually benefited. And so yeah, I don't know if they will return in the next movie. And also, it's just hard in general when you have a big ensemble cast to give them all focus and screen time. And I feel like they were just there so that way we could have a big group. But I feel like what made it work in the Descendants 3, where we had like Mal's gang and Uma's gang, is that they're characters that were already known and developed in the prior two movies. Whereas in this one, it's like most of these characters were meeting for the first time, aside from Red and Chloe. And I don't know. And even like with Luisa's movie Encanto, they did have like a lot of members in the Madrigal family, but I still feel like they managed to still give everyone the right amount of screen time. Like, I remember those characters more than most of, I don't know, the family from Coco. But anyway, so I guess overall what I'm trying to say is I did like the characters and what we got of them, but I feel like because there were so many characters and the movie's pacing is kind of all over the place. Oh, ad. But because I felt like the pacing was all over the place, we didn't really get a lot of time for these characters to either shine or to just, have their plot lines be developed. Like, Evil Chloe, or Chloe in general, plotline should have been developed a bit better. And I feel like, Luis, as much as I liked him as a character, could have benefited better from being a more established character. And yeah, the movie is pretty fast paced, so if you're gonna watch this movie for the first time, be prepared, because it really gets right to it right away and doesn't really give moments time to breathe. And when you see something like Pink getting mad at Red, all of a sudden you're like, wait, what? How did we get there? I have seen this film twice, and it was a bit better on rewatch, but still, it's like, it just kind of, a lot of these stuff come out of nowhere. And then I guess also I'll talk about their moms. I did like them, but I also feel like you didn't really need to have their moms in this movie. I mean, I guess obviously Bridget needed to be in this movie because obviously her being captured is the catalyst for the story. But like Ella, as much as I love Brandy, she really didn't do anything in this film aside get captured alongside Bridget. And also, a big plot hole that I've noticed on rewatch is that she just somehow all this time had this mirror to Bridget's drawing room, and it's like she could have told their daughters about this earlier, and they would have gone to had her easily. But then again, I guess considering how captured she was quickly, it wouldn't be that hard to believe that the same would have happened to Red and Chloe. And yeah, and I would say either of their fashions was really doing it for me this movie. I mean, I kind of like the Queen of Hearts look that she wore in the finale, and I did like Ella's hair in the finale too. But yeah, their looks still didn't really deliver much like last movie. But I still love Brandy and Rita Ora, and they worked with best they could. And also, as for Prince Charming, he does more. He does little than he did last film. Like he just kind of stands there during Perfect Princess, and then when he finds out his wife got went to the Wonderland, drew her mirror, and then it gets cracked, we just don't see him again. And so, yeah, the parents are or I guess the adults in general are useless because Fairy Godmother, the only original Descendants character to be in all movies, she just doesn't she just doesn't do anything as usual. But I guess it's good to see her. Oh yeah, and in case you're wondering where Uma is, they put in one throwaway line of her apparently talking to the Oradon Council and forming a plan, which I understand that they couldn't get China back for this movie, and that the movie is centered in Wonderland, so we wouldn't get that much time in Oradon to begin with. But I don't know. I feel like the Uma I know would have been like the girls and just go in head first without a proper plan because she is a VK. And speaking of, while it was nice to see the original school again, since they completely used a different set in the last movie, I wish we could have gotten at least one or two more scenes of them at Oradon. Especially like get to see like the new dorms and stuff. But I understand the movie is called Wicked Wonderland, so it makes more sense why we were in Wonderland. But I did love Wonderland as a set piece. I thought the CGI was pretty good for a decom, and I just loved the production design of like the Queen of Hearts castle and like Chloe's castle. And they were just able to make Wonderland look so good in this movie. And yeah, I feel like that's all I have to say regarding characters. And now on to the songs. Now, the songs I definitely think are an improvement over the Rise of Red soundtrack. And I actually have my ranking right here. This could change over time, but as you can see, the best song to me is Heartless, which is Chloe and Max duet. Like, I did not expect that song to go as hard as it did. And Brendan Trembley's vocals, amazing. Like, like honestly, first time I heard it, I was like, he reminded me a bit of Milo Manheim singing for some reason. I don't know if anyone else got that vibe. And yeah, obviously the song gives major Queen of Mean vibes from Descendants 3. And just, it sounded very Broadway-esque too. But yeah, loved Heartless. It's really good. And then and then my personal favorite song is Who I Am, which is Red's ballad, but also I guess Red and Pink duet. Um, and again, I liked it. Like, it definitely gave me strong if only vibes, but I've seen a lot of people rank it last in their rankings, which I guess I understand why, because it is pretty short, unfortunately, and also Pink's duet doesn't really come till like the final few verses, but I think Kylie absolutely kills it on that song, and I still love it despite it being so short. And it definitely served as a nice bonding moment for Red and Pink to find for them to finally connect and become sisters. And the young versions of them, so cute. And then my third favorite song is For Once in My Life, which is Red and Lewis duet. And obviously it works for progressing them as a couple. And the song itself, I wasn't crazy about at first, but I have started to like it more. And I love the visuals of the fireflies and just the glowing lights and mushrooms around them. And also the hand choreography reminded me a lot of Dream Come True. And yeah, I've heard some people say that this is better than Dream Come True, which I don't know if it's just recency bias, but I don't know. I love Dream Come True so much. And while I do like this song, I feel like it doesn't really compare to Dream Come True. And also, not to compare love stories either, but I feel like Victor and Nova are definitely a stronger couple than Red and Luis are. But I guess it is hard since they were more of a main couple in that movie. I mean, I don't know. They are kind of like the main couple of this movie, but it's also like they're the only couple of that movie. Aside from headcanon of Zed and, not Zed, Chloe and Hazel. Yeah, speaking of Heartless, I know a lot of people have shipped Chloe and Max before this movie even come out, and well, I can see why. I personally just didn't see romantic chemistry between them. Like, I feel like that whole moment they shared was just more friends or people just showing up for each other in a platonic manner. And yeah, Chloe and Hazel had the best chemistry in the movie, undoubtedly. But yeah, back to Red and Lewis. I like their duet. It kind of reminded me a lot of Free from K-pop Demon Hunters, and also it their vocals made it sound like it was a pop duet. Like this would be kind of like a Camila Cabello and I don't know, Ed Sheeran collab. That's the best male singer I could come up with. But yeah, I like their duet on its own, and even though them as a couple could have been developed better, I still feel like what we got of them was cute, and so I like their duet. And although I will admit, as an OG Descendants fan, it does suck that we never got a love duet between Mal and Ben, and they get one in their first movie. But, I guess it is what it is, and it is still a good song. Crazy how Red and Chloe didn't get a duet this film, but anyway. And then, fourth place, I have Dancing with the Enemy, which is kind of like the new Night Falls in a way. And I like the song. It's fun to dance to, pun intended. And it is funny, once again, how Felix, Robbie, and one of the Smee twins get just launched out of the movie. And I feel like in that moment in the song is supposed to highlight Chloe's turn from evil, since Red does kind of sacrifice her to a flower. I mean, Red clearly had a plan, but she could have communicated that with Chloe. But yeah, Dancing with the Enemy was fun. And I felt like everyone's vocals killed it. And I think it's definitely the best choreographed sequence of the movie. And then Did You Hear About Them is fifth place. I think, again, wasn't crazy about it first, but the song has been growing on me. And I loved how they used, how they were able to use Red switching from the HK side to the VK side. back and forth since, she's not really sure which side she's on. Um, and also, I feel like Lewis's backstory in general is just kind of all over the place. They explain him being like this hero, doing all these things like stopping a kraken, saving a castle, putting a dragon in a headlock, and he apparently has a tattoo of his own statue on his arm. And then Hazel apparently ripped the wings off Tinkerbell one time. But yeah, I feel like out of all the songs in this movie, I feel Did You Hear About Them is the one I feel like is gonna be the one performed on tour this fall, especially because we got Alexandro and Kiara on the tour, so I feel like they have to do it on that tour. But yeah, it's a fun song, although probably the second most unnecessary song of this movie, because I understand it's showing like the differing plot lines between both of the groups of like the hero versus villain, but it's also like we could have maybe cut the song out. Anyways, number 6 is Perfect Princess, the first song that was ever released before the movie came out, and I still love it. I think it's so catchy. And even though it is ranked pretty low, well, not that low, it's only 6, but I feel like even though it's not as high as the other songs, I do feel like it is the one song from this movie that feels most like a Descendants song. I feel like this is a song that I would have heard in the original series, possibly performed by Mal in the second movie when she was struggling to be one of the Oridon girls. And yeah, even though all the songs are catchy, Perfect Princess is probably the most catchiest. Aside from the Perfect Princess Nepo Baby lines, I know that line is controversial, but regardless, the song is still fun, and once again, I love the production design of Brett and Chloe's castle and seeing the Oridon school again. And then the finale song, Go Live It. While on the topic of the finale, I do love all their looks in that song. I'm not crazy about Chloe's jumpsuit, but I do like how she got to keep her dark blue hair from her evil look. And also, they mention it twice in this movie that what's the deal with evil Chloe, and didn't know you had a bad side. So that makes me think evil Chloe might make a return in the next movie if there is one. But yeah, Go Live It I thought was fun, and people have pointed out how it does give strong 2016 vibes, like a 2016 pop song. Personally, it also reminded me of Show the World from Zombies 4. And yeah, I thought it was a fun song, and I loved how we equally got to hear the male character's vocals and the female character's vocals. And then in 8th place I have The Girl I Used to Be from Brandy and Rita, and it was written by Jaheim Toombs, who was the same songwriter who wrote Dream Come True for Zombies 4, but unfortunately this might be my least favorite song from the film. I do love Brandy and Rita's voices together, and I love how it does reference Space Between, which in my opinion is the best Descendants song in the whole series. But yeah, I just feel like it was pretty unnecessary considering how little they contribute to the actual story. But I guess it was sweet seeing their younger flashbacks from their younger selves from that last movie. But also, is it just me, or does Queen Bridget not care about Pink at all? She kind of hardly acknowledges her in this movie. When she talks about her daughter, she just mainly talks about Red, which I guess I understand because Red is her firstborn and she has most memories with her. But I don't know. But yeah, Girl I Used to Be just, wasn't that great. Even though, again, I love Jaheim's Tomb as a songwriter. Dream Come True is so peak, and it sucks that this song didn't quite deliver the same, at least for me. And also, while on the topic of the song, I do have to say, as an off-campus girly, it did, of course, remind me of Hannah's song that she performed in the finale because it's also called "The Girl I Used to Be." And then in last place, I do have Mad, which I feel bad about because, again, I love like the girls' version of it a lot, but in terms of the actual movie, like it's still good in the movie, but it just didn't hit the same for me. And then technically in last place, I have Liamani's cover of "True to Your Heart," which I feel bad doing. Oh, there she is, Liamani, girly, love you. Anyway, it just sucks that like for such a strong vocalist like Liamani, that it that her only song is a cover and it just wasn't that strong. So yeah, those are my takes on the songs. I thought they were all good, and if I had to rank all movie soundtrack, it would probably be in like third or fourth place. I don't know. It's definitely better than Rise of Red, which is the whole movie. But I did like it more than I think I like Descendants 5 soundtrack more than Descendants 3, which might be controversial, but like even though Descendants 3 does have good songs, like the only one that really stood out to me were Night Falls and Good to Be Bad. And so yeah, in terms of soundtracks, Descendants 2 still has the best one. Then it would be Descendants 1, then Descendants 5, then Descendants 3, then Descendants 4. And then, yeah, as for the movies themselves, I of course love this so much more than Rise of Red. And in terms of movies, the second one is still the best. First one is second runner up. And I feel like, honestly, this might be controversial, but I think the fifth and third movie are tied for third and fourth place. Like, as much as I love the characters in the third movies and the good moments it has, it is also such, like, it's still such a messy film in my opinion. And it kind of, like, aggravates me every time I rewatch it. But, yeah, Descendants Rise of Red is still the weakest film, in my opinion. And, oh yeah, I forgot to mention Chessie, who is kind of really the main villain of this movie since she's always, like, manipulating the characters, and I thought she was fine. I personally don't think we needed her as a narrator. Like, I feel like during the opening of the movie, they kind of do a bit too much exposition with her. But, yeah. I thought she was a fine antagonist, and honestly, I feel like this is the most effort Awkwafina has put into one of her vocal performances, because normally she always sounds the same in like every voice role I've heard her in, whereas here I feel like aside from a few moments here and there, she really did pretty good disguising her voice and sounding different. But yeah, and now I think that's really all I had to say about this movie. And overall, I thought it was a pretty solid movie. I think the songs are good. The characters, while not fully developed, I still liked what we got of them. The visuals of this movie are definitely really good. And yeah, it was just overall nice to get another enjoyable Descendants movie again since the third one. Or I guess really since the second one. I mean, I still enjoyed Descendants 3, you guys, but it just also was very half-baked as well. And so yeah, final score I give Descendants 3. I mean Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland. I feel like, I gave it a 3.5 stars on Letterboxd, and that would normally mean out of 10, I give it like a 6 or maybe 7 out of 10. But yeah, I would say it was a pretty good movie, and I'm actually kind of invested now. So I say if you were already a fan of the last film, you're gonna like this one. And if you're like me, who have always been a Descendants fan but wasn't sure how to feel about this new, I guess, spin-off series, give it a chance, because you'll definitely get more out of it than you will Rise of Red. And I'm sorry if I'm slandering anyone who is a Descendants Rise of Red fan. Like, I don't hate that movie, but it just didn't really give, in my opinion, it didn't really give much to work with. But yeah, that's all I have to say for Descendants Wicked Wonderland. As for theories on if a sixth film happens, which I'm pretty sure it's going to, probably not till 2028 though. So I think definitely it will be centered on Pink. I feel like maybe Chloe will become evil again, since it was kind of unresolved a bit. Or maybe like Red could turn evil. Who knows? Obviously hope for more of the other side characters they introduce in this movie. And yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say. I can't really talk about Descendants 6 yet, since we don't know what's in store for that movie. But yeah, that's Descendants Wicked Wonderland. Go check it out. It's pretty solid. Not my favorite of the year, and definitely not a perfect film, but, you know, they put effort into it, and I could feel like it was made with a lot of love. And so yeah, that's all I have to say for Wicked Wonderland for now. I'm sorry for the format of my mini review and this video, but, you know, it is what it is. I promise future videos will be better. But yeah, feel free to comment down below what you guys thought of Wicked Wonderland. If I missed anything, feel free to talk about it in the comments. And just talk about anything Descendants and Disney Channel in general. And also just give me any video ideas in general, because I'd be on board for it. But yeah, that's all I have to say for Descendants Wicked Wonderland. And my next video will probably be another movie review. Either Toy Story 5, The Odyssey, or Camp Rock Tree. We shall see. But yeah, that's all I have to say for now. I thank you guys so much for watching this video. And I hope you guys enjoy whatever comes next from my channel. But until then, that's all I have to say for now. And I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. But until then, ciao for now. Bye, y'all.